and the NVIDIA AI Enterprise Software Platform. Supermicro is committed to driving AI infrastructure breakthroughs with rack-scale innovations. The following message is from the MTA. Now through December 24th, the Grand Central Holiday Fair in Vanderbilt Hall spotlights dozens of vendors selling gifts like homemade bath products, jewelry, art prints, and more.
No funding plan for the government, an Amazon strike, and the economic and political mess in Germany.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by Schwab. Schwab offers investors choices like full-service wealth management, self-directed investing options, and trading on Thinkorswim. More at schwab.com.
I'm David Brancaccio. As you've been hearing, the House defied President-elect Trump and has voted down a revised temporary spending package, leaving the federal government headed toward a partial shutdown at midnight. Congress could still try for a very short-term spending measure to avert the shutdown for a few more days. Getting practical here, air traffic controllers and airport security people would have to keep working, but without pay, until the impasse is resolved. In that situation, you could see more employees calling out sick, which could affect travel. Social Security and Medicare payments keep flowing, although signing up could be delayed. National parks and federal museums close. Food and chemical safety inspections could stop. Food stamps will work for a while, but could stop in a longer shutdown. It's 5 days before Christmas and Hanukkah, and a strike at a number of Amazon commerce locations is entering day 2. Amazon says its operations are business as usual, but picketing workers are asking for understanding should holiday gifts be delayed. Marketplace's Nova Safo has more.
At an Amazon delivery hub in Queens, New York, Teamsters organizer Antonio Rosario has a message for shoppers who might have their packages delayed.
Don't blame the workers, blame Amazon.
The Teamsters have had their sights set on organizing Amazon workers for some time. That includes drivers, who Amazon says are subcontractors, not Amazon employees. The Teamsters Union disagrees.
You've seen Amazon drivers? Do they wear their uniforms? Do they drive their trucks? Do they deliver their packages? Sounds like they work for Amazon to me.
An Amazon spokesperson in a statement said the Teamsters are pushing a false narrative and do not represent the thousands of drivers they claim to. But many of those drivers were on the picket lines and appeared ready for a long fight. Drivers like James Brown, who says he sometimes delivers nearly 300 packages a day.
God forbid somebody gets hurt. You know what I mean? And then you're pretty much, if you can't work anymore, you're pretty much, it's pretty much done.
Brown is hoping union protections will mean a safer working environment. Driver Latrice Johnson is hoping for a consistent schedule.
Sometimes I won't take a break because I'm just so focused on finishing and not finishing late.
Because finishing late, she says, could mean having work hours cut on another day. Despite these challenges, many of the workers we spoke to said they liked their jobs, including Myron Williams.
Everybody here is on high spirits. Only thing is, everybody just wants security.
In the meantime, the workers hope shoppers will show more appreciation for drivers who show up at their doors come rain or shine. I'm Nova Safo for Marketplace.
Marketplace Morning Report is supported by the John Templeton Foundation, funding interdisciplinary research and catalyzing conversations to inspire awe and wonder. Learn more at templeton.org.
Earlier this month, lawmakers in first France, then Germany, voted to dissolve their governments, leaving two of Europe's big players in a swirl of uncertainty. Today, Germany, which is finding the tripod on which its economy has been standing, knocked it. Earlier this
when it comes to energy, because they stopped nuclear some years ago, and of course their super dependency on Russian gas has proven extremely ineffective because of the war, and the renewable energy agenda has been lagging.
You've heard of remittances. Immigrants make money in the new country and send some of it back to family back home. It's big money, but it's informal. Enter something called diaspora bonds. Dan Leinervoss teaches sociology at the University of Southern California and has written a book about this. Welcome to Marketplace, Professor.
Thank you.
So help me understand this. Say I'm from, Italy, and I make it big in the United States, but I still love Italy and want some of my cash to help the old country. I could send the money directly to my uncle Salvio in Torre del Greco, or I could do what?
Well, in some cases, you can buy diaspora bonds, which are basically a type of security that governments offer to members of the nation that live abroad as a way of getting more money than they can possibly get through philanthropy or regular financial markets.
How would it work? A country issues the bond, you pay for it, and you get an interest payment?
Well, if all goes well, let's say 12 or 15 years later, you get your principal and interest.
And of course, there's going to be risk depending on the country.
Typically, like diaspora bonds will carry considerable risk. Otherwise, there wouldn't be no point in issuing those bonds. Governments usually do that because they don't have access to regular financial markets, precisely because it's so risky.
What might the foreign country do with the money that you've invested? Anything, or is it targeted toward specific projects?
Well, the advantage of diaspora bonds from the perspective of the issuing country is that, first, it goes to the state, so it can be used to fund large infrastructure projects. In general, in comparison with philanthropy, it's relatively free of strings, and that's one of the things that are attractive about it.
It was pointed out in the piece I read in The Economist that one challenge to this idea is people will have very direct experiences about whether or not the home government is worthy of trust or not. And this is something that requires trust because you're handing over money for years.
Right. And the trust is also something that is built over time. In the Irish case that I studied, many Irish Americans were willing to trust their government, but there were all kinds of misorganizations in the process of issuing the bonds and sending them to the subscribers, such that a year later, when they tried to do it again, they couldn't find enough organizers that would risk their good name by selling these bonds.
USC's Dan Leiner-Voss is author of a book about diaspora bonds as used by Irish Americans and Jewish Americans. It's called Sinews of the Nation. Professor, thank you.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate hearing from you. You can follow us on Twitter at MarketplaceAPM. Like us on Facebook if you like. And there's plenty of material to explore about how money plays out in our lives at marketplace.org. In New York, I'm David Brancaccio. This is the Marketplace Morning Report. From APM, American Public Media.
Support for WNYC comes from Carnegie Hall, presenting